Kia ora everybody, welcome back to the channel. My name is Amy, the colorist here at Amy Ward Art, and today I have a brand new video series fully inspired by the amazing Melissa over at Winter 89 Colors. We're going to play a game. If you've not seen A Little Touch of Color Counts, Melissa's beautiful series, which is all about connecting back with her books, I love it. I absolutely love it. There is currently 7 episodes at the time I record this, and I am itching for the next one. How this series works is that Winter has a pile of books chosen and written out on little pieces of paper, and then we'll randomly choose one, and as soon as that book is drawn, they must immediately get the book and work in it. There is no excuses. It's not the season, and it's not about finishing off a page. It is about touching the book. A little bit of color counts, and it's about connecting back with the books in the collection and just exploring something that you may not pick. And I love the randomness of it. I love the attitude towards it as well. I myself this year have been working on redefining my acceptance of whips. Previously in the past, I was always like, nope, I can't have whips. I can't have too many whips. I can't have. Now I'm just like, I don't care. There are no rules. And I also have an extensively large colouring collection. And there's certain books that I always gravitate towards that are always my favourites. But there's definitely books on the shelf that I just genuinely forget about or neglect. And I love this series so much. So I did indeed tell Winter several times that not only do I love the series, but I would love to do my own take on it. And Melissa has been more than kind about going, yes, please do. So we're going to play the game today. And I'm hoping this will turn into a full-fledged series where we will dive into a random book and just touch a book. So I am going to do mine just ever so slightly different from Winter, who, by the way, I will tag down below, Winter 89 Colors, and I will tag the playlist as well, so you can go watch all 7 episodes after this video. It is a fabulous way to spend some time, and yeah, I just love the way they all come together. So sadly, this does not contain M&Ms. This here is every single colouring book in my collection. Now, Winter is doing these with a selection, I believe, not their entire collection, but I have done my entire collection. Now, I did not handwrite my entire collection because I have over 450 books, so I'm not doing that. So I did indeed take my spreadsheet and print out the title and illustrator for every single book, cut it out, and then very carefully fold them up really small. I did have to write 2 because I purchased 2 books after I printed this list, and that is why I've also got some spares on the side just in case I need to write down any new purchases to add to here, because I am throwing my whole shelf collection at this. So whatever book I draw, I must immediately pull off the shelf, and that is what we're going to work in. It is not about necessarily completing the page. However, in saying that, I have been finding by saying I don't have to complete pages, I have been completing a lot more pages. It's like I took that pressure off myself to complete the page, and I have naturally been completing the pages. So we may end up completing pages, but if we don't, that's okay. The point is to pull the book off the shelf, fall in love with the book again, or just explore the book again, find a page, and immediately put some colour onto it. Now, if there's an existing whip in the book, I would like to work on the whip first, but I'm also not going to make it that I have to work on the whip. I can work on anything I like. Again, a little bit of colour counts, so it doesn't matter how big, how small, it's just about working on the book. The only books that I am allowing myself to skip in here are completed books, because I accidentally put my completed books in here, which is only free. So yeah, there's free in here that aren't meant to be in here because I forgot to pull out the completed books off the list. So that's the only books I'm allowing a skip. But other than that, what we pull, we have to work in. So yeah, as soon as I draw something, we're grabbing it off the shelf. We will flick through, choose a page, and do some work in it. Pretty straightforward. Alright, why am I nervous? I'm kind of nervous. I don't know why. It is also really fun to just sort of dig your hand in here, because there's over 450 of these little pieces of paper. So when I have done more of this series, I am also going to allow myself to skip any book I have previously drawn on this series, but obviously right now, this being the first episode, I haven't drawn anything before, so whatever we draw, we must work in. And this little one here is feeling like our winner. I cannot tell you how hard it was. Oh my goodness, we got a Kirby Roseanne's World of Colour. Okay, so what you're not seeing here is my brain breaking. Hi, it's editing Amy. And I think I just need to explain why I just kind of stop. And then I actually stop the video and stop for a minute. Because I've just spent ages talking about how excited I am to pull books off the shelf that don't get much love and all those books that I've forgotten. And the very first thing I draw is my favourite illustrator. Now, admittedly, World of Colour is not a book that I go to all the time. It only has one page in it, as you'll see soon. But it's Kirby. I love Kirby. I pretty much guarantee colour a Kirby every month. So this is where my brain actually breaks for a minute, and I'm like, am I actually going to go ahead with this Kirby? Am I going to choose another one and secretly redo this intro and redraw it and all that sort of stuff? And then I was just like, no, you know what? We drew the Kirby. We're going to honour the Kirby. It's just an absolute coincidence that Kirby is your first ever illustrator that you draw, and it's your favourite illustrator, and we're just going to roll with it because that's the nature of the series. So yeah, that is all the things that are flying through my brain at this second as I'm trying to process it, that I don't say on camera, that I thought I would just jump in here and let you know how my brain is breaking. Well, at least it's not hard to find on the shelf because Kirby is my closest one. I also don't need much help falling in love with Kirby because he is my favourite illustrator. But what a illustrator to start off with. That being said, this isn't the book I would gravitate towards with Kirby, so that is a interesting selection. So let's just grab that container because I haven't separated them out from the container yet. So that gives us a pile of bookmarks so we can mark some pages. So I know I have done one in here, which is this dragon page. This was done as a buddy colour, and that is the only one I have done in here. So it's probably a good thing to show some love. I have been itching to do a Kirby. I haven't done a Kirby so far yet this month, and I have been feeling like doing a Kirby. That being said, I was thinking about pulling out Dark Fairy Tales and doing some watermarker technique, but maybe I try that same idea in here, because as long as it's small and detailed enough like that, I could use my watermarkers and do my colouring with water-based markers. Do I feel like doing that one? Not particularly, to be perfectly honest. I just feel like there'll be a lot of brown, and well, that's okay. I don't think that's the vibe right now. You know, I have been, you've seen my other series that I've started this month, What You're Working On Wednesdays. I have done a bunch of Gansai Tambi, and this would be a really good one for Gansai Tambi, but then we're not working over top with water-based markers, I know that much, but it is also Sea Life, which I do feel better about colouring in May, and I have always loved this one, so I think we'll mark the double. I can see that one with Gansai Tambi, but also pulling out maybe some, not ink, because ink will signal through, but watercolours and doing like Gansai Tambi and black watercolour. Yeah, I'm actually really excited about that one already. But let's keep flicking through just in case. The point is just to mark anything that might capture our imagination or we might be interested in colouring. So a lot of these I haven't actually coloured in the actual books. Of course, Mythomorphia is hugely done a lot in, but other than that, again, that's another, it doesn't have to be water appropriate, but that doesn't feel like the vibes right now. Although that one could also work as a water-based markers page, just saying. But I don't think that's a vibe right now. I have done that one in Mythic World. Did really enjoy that, but not in the mood of colouring that one. Oh, I do like that. And that one I could see doing on water-based markers as well. So I'm going to mark them because they are very cool. Yeah, I believe that one's Mythic World. Crocodiles with turtles. I do actually really like this page. It feels like that should be glitter. Do I want to... I could kind of see this one too. Like I could see doing some sort of soft yellows in the background, and then you have the bright greens and blues and teals, and then maybe even bring in a bit of pink into the background, like a peachy pink, to keep it really warm. I can kind of see this one too, so I might mark that one as well. Dragon. I love colouring dragons. I love Kirby's work so much. I'm so excited for Dream Menagerie. It feels like it's going to be Fragile World combined with Mythomorphia, and like Fragile World is beautiful, but it's not one of my favorites. I know it's a lot of people's favorites though. Creatively, I don't feel as inspired by the book. I feel more inspired by, say, like Alien Worlds. But I can still appreciate the beauty of that book and how wonderfully Kirby draws animals. And so I'm really excited for Dream Menagerie. That one could be, yeah, maybe, but I feel like if I was going to do that one, I would actually do it in the original book that it's in. I actually have ink splatter and ink transfer, so I would do it in there and actually show you how I would clean up a page with transfer. So yeah, I love the cover version of this with all the rainbow butterflies. It will be hard not to replicate all those rainbow butterflies, but I would probably want to do something shiny or iridescent, or I wonder, Mum used to have some dragonfly glaze. I wonder if that's still around. That would be cool, like in the Rainbow Shift or something. I could borrow it. I've seen a lot of people do the bee as well and all those beautiful colours. It's hard sometimes because Kirby's so popular that some of his work I feel like I've seen done quite a few times, and it's hard to imagine your own viewpoint when you've seen it so much. So that's one of the things about Kirby, is sometimes it can be hard to create a new viewpoint. But all colouring's valid, and if you're inspired by someone else's colouring, that's like totally valid as well. All coloring's valid. That's the end of the book. Okay. So, what did we mark in the end? We marked our Space Sea. We marked... I would choose the doubles, right? Tree friend here. And then we marked the crocodile. I'm still really drawn to the Space Sea. And I think it's probably because I can pull out that Ganzo, which I love. But I've also had... I can really see it with that background. And that background's an easy place to start off with. So, yeah, I think we'll do that. I think we'll start with our ocean. So let me grab my Ganzo, my watercolors, and just turn on another light because we've got some shadows, and just set up to get some background going on this page. Okay, So I've got some newsprint to protect, well, a little bit and help with overspill. Crack that book right open again. Ugh, spines. Always the most difficult part. Well, not always, but you know, dealing with the spines. So I have my Gansai Tambi. There's a lot of boxes here. You can also see I grabbed some blue iridescent paint. And I also have my watercolors. These are just Winsor & Newton Cotman. So I'm going to get these blues and blacks activated. Just so everything's starting to saturate in and is ready to go. So I have the new palette, which I haven't actually played with yet. But I'm actually thinking I've also got replacement set 1s and sets 2s because I have used these a lot. But there's one color in particular, this brown blue. That's what I'm really thinking for the Galaxy, going with that sort of tones, with picking up of the black of the watercolor and then some iridescent as well. So I'm just gonna chuck in, whoops, there's a bunch of shimmer in the bottom of my water there, so I don't mind if that comes out a bit shimmery, but I probably should have changed my water. My bad. That's okay. I get the feeling we are going to finish this pan entirely. Hello, Shadow. This is not the time for you to jump on the desk here. I am sorry. Kitty cat's just appeared. Alright, so we're going to make sure we get right into those corners. Let that start activating without spilling everywhere. Oop, like that. And then start by spritzing our page with a bit of water. So I know some of you will be like, what about the bleed through? What about underneath? Honestly, most of the time I find it doesn't bleed through that badly, if at all. And if it does, I can fix it up. I would rather focus on colouring a page how I want to colour a page than worry too much about the bleed through or this or that. So that is why I'm just like, I'm just going for it. So yeah, don't worry too much. You can see that my brush has picked up some other colour from the other pan. It's fine. So we're gonna start getting this blended in. If I'm not getting enough pigment and colour from this, I'll open up the new one. But for now, it's getting there. I just have to really work those corners. No, Shadow, you can't come up. Oh my gosh, he has escaped and he has made it onto the desk. I might have to... dealing with a rogue cat is not part of this series. You're adorable, yes, but you can't be here while I'm watercolouring. No, you can't be. I'm sorry. He's looking at me like, you're talking to the camera, so I get treats. He's used to me streaming. Have a shot of a cat. It's just been put back on the floor. I know, so mean, but I can't have him up here for two reasons. One, I'm painting, so there's wet stuff everywhere. But two, he also really likes dirty paint water. Specifically dirty paint water, and I don't know why. So we need him not up here with said paint water, because I don't think him drinking a paint water full of mica, powder, glittery residue and all that sort of stuff is the greatest thing in the world for a cat. So yeah. Now you've managed to scrape most of that pan. There's still a little bit left in there, so I can get some more. But we're going to pull over our watercolors. I'm going to make up a bit of a black blue. Just bring this in as well. Just let that sort of bleed and do its thing together. Might need to make sure we're keeping this a bit more wetter, because things are starting to dry. We need to keep moving relatively fast. So again, dealing with a cat, it's not really part of the plan. Make sure we keep those pans nice and wet. Just let it do its thing together. And just really making sure we get the whole page at least covered with a wash of colour. Every point needs a little bit of colour. A little bit of colour counts after all. But yeah, technically this background, this would be like all I have to do. And if I just do this background and walk away, that counts. That's the point of the series. So I love it. I think it's such a great idea. And like I've talked about before, how I love with watching, for example, colours, and when she flicks through her book and she's got all these whips and you can see the history of her colouring and just different things she's done over the years, because she's just got so much in progress in her books. I just find it absolutely fascinating, and I think it's fabulous. So I'm looking forward to my books also having just more in them, more whips, because yeah, as I said, now that I've given myself permission to not finish pages, I have actually been ending up finishing a lot of pages, although part of that is also I'm still not sleeping. But just in general, I get more done because I gave myself permission to not have to finish a page. It's like reverse psychology, I guess, you know. I said, yeah, you don't have to finish a page, and now all I want to do is finish pages. But yeah, it's not the intention to finish the page, but it does sort of work together, which is quite neat. So yeah. Right, I don't really need it too dark over the planet, so I'll just wash it, same within here, just to make sure that all the colours harmonious across the two halves. Right, that should finish up the last of the watercolour, so that's at least everything with a bit of colour. I might see if I can get a bit more of this Ganzo Tambi out. We might as well like finish up this pan, and that'll be the second pan that I've entirely finished, because I finished the one next to it as well. So we might as well just finish up what's left. Really scraping the edges of these pans here. Products are made to be used up, so why not? I'm just gonna dribble that on. Again, we'll just let it bleed and do its thing. Really focus it in those sort of areas. Push some of that around because we don't need that building up on the moon there. It can be a bit darker or lighter. Alright, that's basically that pan completed. Gonna again wet everything, make sure it's staying wet and blendy and smushy. And then, because it's me and I love a bit of shimmer, I'm gonna go for this delightfully light warm blue. I think it goes with the orangey vibes, and just drop that over. It'll kind of read as stars in the distance a bit. It'll spread out and bleed a little bit. We can make it bleed a bit more as well. And there we go. Right, I'm happy with that background. I'm now going to leave it to dry because as it dries, the Gansai Tambi will work its magic. You can see some areas of orange starting to come out, some areas of blue, and then we'll have areas of black where the watercolor and the blue of the watercolor tends to be as well. But we need to just let things dry and let the magic occur. And that just needs to dry naturally. I can't even hair dry that one. It's got to do its thing on its own. So we'll just put this to the side and come back to this later when things are dry. Okay, it's that time again. So we're going to pull out another book from the bottle and see what comes to be. And we'll go for that one today. Oops, we pulled out two. Okay. Well, the one that I obviously was holding and wanting to open was this one. So we'll put that one back. Do we want to look out of curiosity? No. No. We'll stick with what I drew. This is what I drew. Malpamini Chatsapanagatu Nature Mandalas. Let's grab the book. Okay, I have the book. I will take name, re-roll it in there. That's our spare paper. Put away the precious 7M container. Bookmarks. Nature Mandalas by Malpamini Chatsapanagatu. Now I have actually done a little bit in here. This one was one of the books I had during a hospital stay after a fall. So I just had this and my polychromos pencils, and I have actually done a little bit in here. I think I've done most of the water creatures because that's what I like. This was not the first time I fell and stayed in hospital. This was the second time, so yeah. What else? I know, yeah, these are dragonflies. There's the rainbow turtles, animals. Yeah, so I've done a little bit in here actually. So of course we do have the title page. Jess from Colouring Bumblebee has the hashtags stacked to the title pages, so that definitely counts. It's not really the vibe, even though it is bees. So it'd be doubly appropriate. Could also use my usual trick of the Gansai Tambi and then do the watercolour, and that's all watercolour, it's all under the ocean, so I could do that, but I feel like I've got enough watercolour water pages at the moment on the go. I do love my water scene, so I love colouring water, so I'm not too worried about that. Bunch of birds. And then some moths. This might be quite a vibe at the moment because I have been feeling very like enjoying sort of flat colouring, so I'm wondering about doing this with gel pens, to be honest. So yeah, there's the dragonflies. I love the dragonfly page. There's a bunch of beautiful glitter on the wings. I did that once I got back out from hospital. Swans. Bugs. Birds again, and more flowers. I have to be in a very specific mood to do flowers. Got Australian animals. If that was Kiwi animals, I would probably be there in a heartbeat. Oh look, it's a water one I haven't done. But yeah, again, not feeling those vibes. I could see maybe colouring the daffodil. I don't really want to colour the rest of that, but I could see possibly doing the daffodil. I'll mark it. That's the first one where I've kind of gone, oh, okay, I could colour the daffodil. Don't really want to colour flowers, but I'm not opposed to the daffodil specifically. Crabs, more birds. Yes, that's the introduction page about with the center. I could actually see colouring this too with maybe the Languile gel pens and other gel pens, and I've got a bunch of yellow glitter which could be fun to do here. I had to for one of my pages I've run out of blue glitter gel pens, and so I found somewhere selling blue glitter gel pens. In fact, they're right nearby me. So came in a 6-pack. I was like, great. I brought a pack, tested one, and went, fantastic. It's the right colour. And then I cleared the shelf to make sure that I have enough to finish off the double page spread of all the blue. So I have a lot of coloured glitter gel pens in the moment, in every colour except for the blue, because the blue is all assigned to that page. So I could use the yellow and do that page with all of that, because I've got a lot of yellow to use up. So again, I might mark that one. Quite like that floral page. I feel like it's a bit bigger. There's a bit more room in that one. Getting a bit worried there at the start, because it's like, oh, struggling to find something. But yeah, I think as we go on in the book, vegetables and fruits, and there's more vegetables. That I think would be a good, it is autumn here. I don't tend to be a seasonal colorist, but when I see people in the other hemisphere who are all like autumn, 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 that might be one to color when I feel like I also want to color autumn, even though it'll be spring. That wolf page is kind of cool too. Seahorse. Cute little fall animals. More wolves. My rainbow snaily whaleys. Do have to remember that gel pens can transfer in here as well. See, I don't mind that one either. That one again, I can see just colouring the sun, and that background again could all be yellow glitter gel pen. Don't know why I want to use the yellow specifically, but apparently that's the vibe. I love this page. I love the animals on it so much. Gosh, I haven't flipped this book, I think, since I was in hospital, and I think that was 2022, 2023. It's been a good number of years since I've pulled this one off the shelf, which is why I wanted to also do this series, is I just wanted to have a reason to go back to these books. Again, right now I feel like I would colour the rose, but I don't really think I would want to colour anything else on the page, which would count. But I think we've got enough that, like, I'm not highly excited to start the rose. It's just kind of like, yeah, I could colour the rose, you know? I'm not excited to colour the rose, though. And I'm more excited by the ones that I have marked so far. Because I still want to be excited to colour the page, right? I don't want to colour something just for the sake of colouring something, because then it just is going to feel meh the whole way through. Because we're meh about it. Could also do that one at the back. That still counts too, but again, I like what I have picked. So I have got this one, which again does have flowers, but I'm just really, I like the idea of colouring that background, because it's big flat colouring, which is kind of a mood right now. Got the bees, and whoops, that one fell out. Which one was that on? I can't even remember which one that one was on. I think there was one where I was just like, I could just that one, it was the daffodils, and I was like, I could, but I don't actually feel excited by it, so let's not. Bees, flower. Surprisingly, I think I actually want to do this one. I just want to colour in that background. Ever since I thought about the yellow glitter gel pens, I can see this background behind everything being bright, beautiful yellow. And it's just going to be some flat colouring, but I think it's a wonderful, wonderful thing to do. So for this one, I might just put you guys on time lapse, because it's going to be pretty boring and there won't be a lot to talk about. I will just be flat colouring with a gel pen. It is this one here. And yeah, just to sort of show you the color, it's just a bright yellow glittery gel pen, and I'll just slowly work my way around that background. So I might put you guys onto time lapse for this one, because I think that's going to be a bit on the boring side, and then I can listen to my audiobook while I sit here and just mindlessly color, which is something I love to do at the moment. So we're back. It's a couple of days later. Everything's had chances to dry. My nails have been hammered, but I want to change nail polish color, and I can't find my remover. So right now we've got in between nails, but hey, that's part of the process. And this is World of Color by Kirby Roseanne's that we did the Gansai Tambi and watercolor ink base on. It is now dried to this beautiful stage. I might zoom you out a bit so you can actually see just a little bit more. I love how this has come together. Like, it really does feel galaxy-like, but also could be underwater-like, which is what we want. It has not bled through, despite how much I saturated the page. So that is fabulous. Now, in terms of colouring it, I'm in a couple of minds of how to approach this, because I was thinking it could be quite cool to do it all like quite dark blacks, but then highlight the edges where we've got this around here. But then it's going to feel like the whole page will be then quite dark and moody. I also like the idea of doing it quite vibrant and colourful. And I've been sitting on it for a couple of days just trying to figure out what I want to do. And you know what? I genuinely cannot decide the approach I want to take yet. So this is where we're going to call it on this page, because that's the point of this series, a little touch of colour counts. I love the background. I love what's been created so far. I'm just not sure how we're progressing yet from here, but I'm very happy with the background. So I'm happy to just say, cool. And that is now going to become a whip. As possible, as we head on in the month, I will get an idea for it. But right now, as of this stage, I don't have an idea for it. So I'm going to put it to the side. And if it becomes a whip, it becomes a whip. But our other one, Nature Mandalas, I did have an idea for. Now I did go ahead and finish the background of this one off camera because it was actually quite perfect bed colouring. So boom, there's our solid yellow glitter gel pen background. It is super shiny and metallic. Well, not metallic, but glittery, but the glitter also adds like a shine to it. Yeah. This did use 2.5 gel pens. It's amazing how far the ink of those gel pens does not move. But as I was working on it and really just enjoying the mindless colouring of the background, I was trying to figure out how I was going to approach the foreground. It's like, oh, we're going to like pencil colour it, we're going to do markers. This is a single-sided book, so we're going to do like lots of greens, or, you know, lots of rainbow colours. Are we going to try and keep it to maybe just greens and browns and keep it like quite harmonious? And my brain was getting wrecked as I went through this. And then as I got about halfway through, I realised that the black and the yellow, it reminded me of something. And I was like trying to figure out what it reminded me of. If you've ever seen Malcolmini Chatsapanagatu's actual work that she does, her actual illustrations, she works with black, white, and gold. Those are her colours. She doesn't normally do a lot of colour work. She just does these beautiful black and white illustrations with touches of gold. And that's what I realised it was reminding me of, those black and white illustrations. And I was like, you know what? I think I want to go with those vibes. So what I'm going to do is I have some black watercolour and I have my Gansai Tambi Starry Night. And the plan is using one of these golds, probably the yellow gold would be the closest to the glitter that's there. Maybe. We'll see. Might decide that one at the end, but I know the center of the sun here, we're definitely going to make that gold. I mean, I also am like not opposed to not putting any gold on there because we got the background, but hey. And yeah, for the rest of it, I'm going to use watercolor and just water down watercolor to do the rest of this page. And we're going to just add in shading using watercolor. And I think it should turn out quite cool. I've got a vision in mind for it. Again, this is one of those trust the process situations. I can see what I'm doing, even if everyone else can't. I thought I heard a cat crawling in here. No. Why do you always like to come when I'm painting? He thinks I'm streaming. That's also part of it. Alright, we're going to try with a water brush today. I don't usually use a water brush. I usually prefer to control my water by dipping, but we're going to try it. So it's Sunday morning here. It's actually Mother's Day. I just cooked my mum her Mother's Day breakfast. And then we're having a afternoon tea a bit later on with everyone else in the family. So Shadow should be content because he got some egg, but no, he's being a little poop. And yeah, we're just gonna try and shade out. Oh, I don't think I actually picked up any watercolor on that lot, but that's okay. Just try and shade out a bit of color. And of course, this is a single-sided book, so we are able to get away with this. Oh, catch your claws. Oh, I need to trim his claws. We don't usually trim them because he usually trims them on a tree, but he hasn't been going outside. So he hasn't been clawing his tree. He's not very impressed with me. Yeah, I'm hopeful that it'll come together and look alright with my haphazard watercolor skills. Not the best at them, but we'll try. I think I prefer working like with a normal brush, but every once in a while it's fun to try with a water brush and just see. I feel like the water brush is too wet for me, and that's somebody who does tend to saturate paper. I normally, I've been drying off my brush a lot here and would normally just like to dip my brush to bring it back to wetness. I don't know, I work quite dry in a way, but I also saturate. I'm rambling as well. I'm not a great watercolorist. Don't follow me for watercolor tips. I play around with it. I was talking about this on live stream about how one of the reasons I don't film tutorials is because 99.999% of the time I don't know what I'm doing and I'm just making it up as I go along. And so it's just hoping for the best. And I can explain that process live because it's like, oh yeah, I'm just going to do this. And this is what I'm doing. And so I can explain that live, but I don't want to do it in like tutorial form because it's not like a formal tutorial because I don't know. I can tell you what I'm doing, but I can't, like, it may be a lesson and don't do this, you know? Oh, I guess I feel like I'm getting a little bit of a cold. Still not sleeping. That'll be a big part of it. Oh, that's solid colour. This might take a while, which is okay. Art doesn't need to be fast. I'm just realising, do I have things to talk about during this time? Because not a lot has been happening. I've been, like yesterday, I coloured, I did some cleaning, I made myself feel very ill by cleaning. I went and had a nap. I realised I was getting ill. Like, such an exciting life, you know? that's the reality. Sometimes life is just boring. And that's life for me at the moment. It's just boring. I'm literally in limbo waiting for medical appointments, and so my life is watching a letterbox to see did a hospital send me an appointment card yet. Got another mental health appointment, but we haven't got the actual appointments that we're waitlisted on. Because I love that medical is free here, but side effect of that is the waitlists are very long. Hmm. Probably gonna have another nap today too. We also have Matariki coming up next month, I believe. I think it's in June this year. I'll have to check my dates. It doesn't have a set date every year, so it does move depending on the cycle of the stars. Matariki is, for ease of explaining, Māori New Year, and it's a very important cultural date, and it coincides with the rise of the Matariki star cluster being visible in the sky, which is I think it's Pleiades. It's that star cluster. So, yeah, it's a little bit more than just, New Year, but that's the easiest way to describe it. It's also a celebration of the year that's been and the year that's going to come. It's a time of remembrance for those that we've lost over the year, and it's a celebration of the harvest because it's in the middle of winter. Yeah. And I usually do I say usually, I've done it twice now, but I have now two Matariki colouring books, and I want to do a stream on Matariki where we talk about it and talk about New Zealand culture and Matariki and celebrate it together and colour in those books. So right, I think I'm kind of getting the hang of it. Maybe it wasn't the smartest idea to start front and centre, but meh. I think I'm kind of getting the hang. Like, we're getting a bit of a gradient here. I'm just working with the lines that Malpamini's also chucked in place, which makes it easier. Oh, that went a bit dark. Yeah, just trying to create a bit of shading directly onto the page. I don't want to cover up too much of the white though, because we do want to have some white featuring. Seems like Shadow is conceding and he is settling down behind me on the chair, which is absolutely fine. I do like when he settles there. I think it's the cold. It's snapped too. It's so cold all of a sudden here. So yeah, we've been making hot breakfast every day, or I have been. I am the cook in the household here. So the breakfast at the moment that we've been loving has been oatmeal porridge, oatmeal with blueberry, grated apple, cinnamon, and nutmeg. It's like a spiced apple and blueberry pie, but as porridge or oatmeal. It's delicious. I've been making that every day, and it's been so nice to have a hot breakfast. And I actually miss it on the days that I don't have it now. And I'm somebody who normally doesn't like to eat the same things every day, but if I don't have the breakfast, I don't feel like I've started my day right now. So that's really interesting. It's funny how you can just accidentally get yourself into a habit. Um, so yeah, this morning it's Mother's Day, and so I made my mum breakfast. I opened up the cafe, as we say, and made her like a full-on, still a cooked breakfast, but like a savory cooked breakfast. So we had scrambled eggs and bacon and hash browns, and I sauteed up some mushrooms and some spinach with some garlic and like seared a tomato because I want some veg with it. I don't just want bacon and eggs. That's just me though. That's my preference. Yeah, so served that up, and it was good, but also sitting here going, I don't feel like I've had breakfast because I didn't have my porridge. And I'm full. I don't need any breakfast. It's just because I didn't have my porridge. It's just funny that you can get so ingrained into a habit. Now, if only I could make it so I was eating the same things every other day. I think I'd get bored though. Oh, excuse me. Alright. I think I am going to need a nap today. I'm almost completely out of frame here. Ah, professional. Professional. So yeah, I've been still getting busy being creative. Actually finished off another page in 30 Days of Creativity, which is my art journaling book. And that was really nice to do. It's been a while since I've done anything in there, and I really got some creative juices flowing, so I'm excited to show you guys that. I also released this week a series, What You're Working on Wednesdays, and it seemed like it was quite a big hit. There was a lot of positive feedback on that one, and a lot of people really loved the video. And I did ask on the video for some feedback about one element, and then we happened to be talking about it in stream, and I got a bunch of feedback about it there, which is basically, in the first one, I showed both what I had completed and what was an active whip at the time. And it meant that like the first 20 minutes or so, sorry, it's just me showing I painted that black and I was going to paint that gold. We'll be able to scrape some of it off. Yeah, it's just me showing, whips and showing completed pages because I do a lot of pages, and that's going to be an ongoing issue because of how much I can color in a week and complete in a week. It's like, do I show what I've completed every time? Because it also kind of ruins completed pages in a way and shares some of the surprise out of it. Like, you'll still know some of the stuff that's coming because you've seen my whips, but it doesn't mean also that I've finished a page just because it's in my whips, like the Kubi page. But then like this 30 Days of Creativity page that I have started and finished in a week, that's a complete surprise. And I could show you on the What You're Working on Wednesday, but I'm not working on it. I've worked on it. That's not what I'm working on. And it would ruin the surprise from completed pages. So that's where it was like, oh, okay, what do we do here? So the first one I did, but I asked people's opinions, and then we were talking about it in chat, and pretty much everyone agreed that it should just be the active whips. So that's what I'm going to do this week, is I'm just going to show the active whips. So for example, the World of Color page, the space water scene, that's not an active whip because we're done with it right now, so I don't need to show that one. But this one, if some reason something comes up, I stop here, and then like when it came time to film it, hadn't come back to it, but I'm still planning to come back to this. That's an active whip. So that's the other thing. I'm also going to have to figure out what's active, what's not. It's a lot of figuring out. It'll get into its flow though in time. I'm just going to need a few weeks to kind of figure out the flow, figure out the feelings of it, and then go from there. But I'm glad there was such a good response to it. I'm hoping we get the same sort of good response to the A Little Touch of Color Counts series, playing the game, because I think it's fabulous and I love, love, love the randomness of it. So yeah, I'm excited to dive in. Like, I'm itching to draw the next one, especially because the first two that I've drawn were just like artists that, well, I say that I don't think I've worked on Malpomini in a long time. But Kirby, I definitely work on all the time, and that's why my brain broke initially, because out of all the first choices, but yeah, now I'm itching to, like, I want to draw another one. I want to see what I get, see what page we can get, see what we can create. So yeah, with the Kirby one, for example, that we've now moved into a whip, I'm also like contemplating, does that mean that in a future Little Touch of Color Counts, do we carry on with that one? I might need to ask Winter how they do it, if, because I've drawn it, I just keep the footage and I don't include it in this section, and then include it if I do finish off the page. But then I also feel like that puts pressure on me to finish off pages again, and that's not the point of this. Like, I'm actually really excited to blow up my whip collection, which sounds weird, but I think there's something about, there's days when I want to color and I just don't want to start with a blank page. Sorry, I'm off frame. And Shadow's just jumped off my chair, so now I can rearrange myself and actually get in frame better. Oh my god, correct posture. Oh, I love the cat, but he does make me sit in some weird positions. Right. What was I saying? Oh yeah, about like completing it, because yeah, the big point of this is not to complete it. I want to have whips, because one of the things I've realized lately is I've really been enjoying, also on certain days, when I call it's coloring chaos mode. It's like this coloring goblin takes over, and I just have to color, have to color, have to color. But I don't want to start with blank pages on those days. I don't want to be thinking. I don't want to have to plan or figure out what I'm doing. I just want to come in and slap color on a page. So those days, if I've got any whips, oh my god, that's the best days for it. It's the reason why I tend to like base so many pages at once, because you get into a background mode, and then, coloring goblin day occurs, and then suddenly it's like, yeah, and we go for it. It's a lot, and I'm hopeful that in doing this I will also generate some new whips in my collection, because I don't have a lot of whips, and it'll be nice. Like, again, I find giving myself permission to leave whips makes me end up not only coloring more, but it does make me end up finishing more pages, because I'm taking that pressure off, and sometimes without the pressure to do it, I just end up coming back because I can step away from a page, and then I get that idea, and then it's like, oh, and then I come back to it instead of forcing myself to push through. And then it's like, oh yeah, it's cool, I still like what I've created, but I'm not in love with what I created. So sometimes you just need that little spark to hit you, and that spark can't always hit you if you're like forcing yourself just to keep working on it. So that's why I'm also like not worried to rush to that not Alien Worlds, the World of Color page, because I know inspiration will strike me eventually, and I love a Kirby, so it's not going to be an issue for me to finish that one off. But it's just not the mood right now. I'm not sure 100% what route I want to take on it, and yeah, I know what route I wanted to take on this one, so I was like, cool, we're going to go to this one. And yeah, I think you're starting to see the grayscale coming through, and I really like it. Like, again, it's going to be simple, and you might look at this and go, oh, about the colour, but no. And again, Malpomini herself very rarely uses colour. Her books' covers have more colour than her actual art. So, Okay. I didn't put any protection sheet behind this, but it's doing okay. Paper's doing okay. It's good to know as well. I hope my stomach is not being picked up by the microphone as well. It's a little busy after a full breakfast. Yeah, I saw the microphone thing moving me and I hope, oh my goodness. Anyway, can't be paranoid about it. We all make stomach sounds. We all digest food. It's just some days my stomach seems to run or scream that it's digesting food. It's like, calm the frick down. uh, yeah, I'm definitely still in a little bit of colouring chaos mode. I can't sleep mode, so I did get some good sleep last night. Did manage 6 hours, but I also feel a little under the weather, so I think that's why I slept so much last night. But it's the most that I've slept in weeks, so take I will take that because oh my gosh, sleep is just probably part of the reason why my stomach's been so loud. But yeah, definitely been feeling the lack of sleep. But on the plus side, the productiveness, once again, like we're on track to have another huge completed pages month. And it's not about the numbers. The numbers do lie. The numbers don't represent effort or they don't represent, the mood at the time. So I've got, pages that have taken hours upon hours upon hours and hours. And I've got literally, there was 1 hour where I did 5 pages. Because that was the mood at the time. So, yeah. So we'll be having to do another disclaimer at the start, I imagine, too. We're also going to be able to add this cool page to it because I think we're going to be finishing this one today because I'm vibing with it. And this is our last major flower. Probably could do some better blending around. Whoops. Yes, there's a little bit of variation of blending. It's not, the leaves aren't all the same tone and whatnot, but I didn't really know what I'm doing, but I think it's okay. Like, I kind of dig it. Again, we're going for that black and white feel, and I think we're getting the black and white. Everything's definitely got a bit of shading on it. Just going to give everything a blast with the hairdryer, and then we can come in and add another layer anyway. So, but we'll start by forcing this layer to dry, then come back in. Okay. I'm happy with that. I think that's really cool. It's a bit different to what I would normally do. And then for the gold, because we have such a strong yellow background, I don't want to match that yellow exactly. So what I'm going to use is I'm going to use the light gold color from this set. Get some of that going. I should have got it pre-activated. Gonna need a minute. But yeah, this is a beautiful gold, but it's also like it's lighter. It's a lighter version of the background, basically. It's still got a bit of that warm tone to it, but in a lighter form. And I think that will be the perfect complementary color to our background. We still need to activate more because I can't even see that. These blocks can take a hot minute to activate, so I should have actually done this well and truly before. I might have just forgotten. Yeah, there we go. Now we're starting to get somewhere. So yeah, I'm just going to do the center of the sun here. No, the sun itself, just the center. And we're going to leave the rest of that white. And then we're also going to put this in a few other areas. A couple of flower centers. So we still want to have a bit of sheerness so that you can see Malpavini's beautiful line work underneath, but we want it opaque enough that we've still got a solid gold colour over the top as well. So I think we've got the right sort of density worked out here. I was going to also put it on the butterflies, but I'm going to leave the little butterflies white. I think that little pop of white is actually quite pretty on them. I don't think they need it. We're dealing with a solid glitter background, so you don't actually have to go too ham with all the glitter and stuff. Alright, once again, I'm going to pull out the hairdryer. And there we go. I think the simplicity of that one is exactly where it needs to be. I think it's quite striking as is. It's got beautiful glittery background. It's got that beautiful shimmery gold in a couple places, and it's been shaded with black to white. So yeah, I think I'm happy to call that one done, which is also cool. Well, it's not a direction I would have expected for this page, but I also really like it. So I never ever would have pulled this page out without the challenge, which is very, very cool. So yeah, I've just seen how much footage I have. I think this is a really good point to call it on this first episode. And yeah, let me know what you think. I hope you've enjoyed this, playing the game along with me, and this little bit of randomness that occurs as we dive into my collection and explore my books and randomly work on a page. May or may not finish it. I want to give a huge shout out again to the beautiful Melissa of Winter 89 Colors, who came up with this idea, and just absolutely warms my heart every time I see another one of this series. I will make sure I put the playlist down below that contains all the episodes that have been done so far from Winter. I believe there are 7, and I think 8 is coming out soon, which is exciting. But yeah, thank you again so much for sparking this idea with me, sparking this idea in me, and allowing me to use your format to also do some work and tackle a page in a way that I never would have thought to do without doing it, and getting another whip in my collection to tackle when I am ready. So yeah, I hope you've enjoyed. Let me know down below if you've enjoyed this series and would like to see some more, because I'm keen to do some more. There's a lot more books we can randomly pull, so let's see what we randomly pull, eh? But in the meantime, all the araha to you all. Take care, and I'll catch you all in the next video. Bye!